It is the 10th of June 2020 in Dubai, UAE. This apartment is the chosen home of Ramon Olorunwa Abbas. To the world, he's known as Hushpuppi, a social media celebrity with thousands of posts, fancy cars, and wardrobe shots that could have served as pages in a luxury catalogue. For years, he cultivated an image that many would come to envy: a flawless style, expensive watches, exotic travel, and an entourage of friends who move like characters in a perpetual VIP scene. But right now, this apartment is not a reward. It is evidence. In the early hours of the morning, while Abbas and several of his associates are asleep, a SWAT unit of the Dubai police advances through the quiet corridors of the second floor. It is part of Operation Fox Hunt, a joint effort by the FBI and Dubai police targeting one of the most sophisticated international financial crime networks law enforcement had ever encountered. The door is forced open. Within seconds, the men inside are awake, surrounded, and restrained. The figure known online as Hushpuppi is taken into custody. In that moment, the life he curated for years begins to collapse under the weight of something far more permanent than social media. This is the story of how the FBI caught Nigeria's greatest scammer.
The Dubai Police Department detailing a raid on a cybercrime gang led by Nigerian Instagram celebrity Ramon Abbas, popularly known as Hushpuppi.
Ramon Abbas was born on October 11, 1982 in Lagos, Nigeria. He was born into a world that offered ambition but often little access. His father drove a taxi, and his mother sold bread to make ends meet. Life was not easy, and survival was a daily negotiation. Lagos in the 1990s and early 2000s was not just a city, it was a crucible. Young men dreamt of wealth without limits, and many of them hunted paths that led outside traditional routes of commerce and employment. The internet, which was new, open, and direct, became fertile ground for those eager to escape. As a young man, Abbas was exposed to the underground culture of early Nigerian internet scams, the precursor to modern cybercrime sometimes called Yahoo Boys, where operators used social engineering and digital tricks for quick gains. It was here that he understood something fundamental: that the line between visibility and credibility often blurs when money is involved. Ramon adopted the nickname Hushpuppi around 2012. When he moved to Malaysia in 2014, he began to build a digital identity that was meant to be global. It was here that the social media handle Hushpuppi became a carefully crafted brand and really took off. Hushpuppi was not a name intended to hide a man. It was a name designed to project him. While in Malaysia, he perfected two things: his image and the mechanics of laundering money across borders using layered accounts, shell companies, and unsuspecting financial conduits. Malaysia was a launchpad, a place where the world could begin to imagine Hushpuppi as a success story rather than a suspect. His social media posts became aspirational, not just mysterious. But behind the hashtags and luxury shots, something else was growing: an international laundering network tied to hundreds of millions in fraudulent transfers. The persona was built on visibility. The operation was built on anonymity, and the two would soon collide. In 2017, Hushpuppi relocated to Dubai, a city that serves equal parts as a global financial hub and a billboard for wealth. If you can afford a penthouse in Dubai, you are assumed to have earned it, and very few people ask how. That was exactly what Hushpuppi needed. In Dubai, his social media expanded from niche to global. Private jets, ultra-expensive tailor suits, luxury vehicles, and mansions. A narrative of unchallengeable wealth. The public didn't need proof. They only wanted spectacle. What he didn't broadcast, however, was the network behind the spectacle. It was a sophisticated group of financially connected operators, hackers, money mules, shell corporations, and accounts across continents, all part of a transnational cyber fraud ecosystem built around business email compromise and other schemes. BEC was not about romance scams or phishing for passwords. It was a different kind of deception, one that worked not because it was flashy, but because it was subtle, quiet, and unbelievably effective. It is basically a scam in which criminals infiltrate corporate or financial email systems and manipulate routine transfers so that funds are diverted to illicit accounts under the control of the network. It was here, in Dubai, that hushpuppi became a central node in that network, not of hackers, but of money movement and coordination. His role was not to steal money directly, but rather to make stolen money usable. The investigation into hushpuppi did not start with him. It started with another man, Galeb Alamari, a Canadian national from Mississauga, Ontario. In 2019, the FBI arrested Alamari in connection with BEC fraud and money laundering schemes. When agents seized his phones and computers, they found something remarkable: direct operational communications with hushpuppi. These were not casual social messages. They were financial instructions. In the conversations, Alamari asked for accounts that could receive stolen funds from active BEC attacks, and hushpuppi provided them. This was the missing link investigators had spent years trying to identify: where the money was going, who was enabling it, and how stolen funds were being integrated into legitimate financial systems. This was not hearsay, it was direct evidence. It showed a functional economic relationship where hackers would infiltrate businesses, extract unauthorized wire transfers, and then have those funds routed into accounts provided by hushpuppi through Alamari. With Alamari's devices providing a map, the FBI began to trace transactions that spanned continents and millions of dollars. They identified transfers from a New York law firm of over $900,000, which had been redirected into criminally controlled accounts. There were connections to a $13 million theft from a foreign bank in Malta. Funds prosecutors alleged were routed through accounts in Romania and Bulgaria. There was also an attempted BEC scam on 2 UK companies, including an English Premier League football team, both of which were for around $100 million. These numbers are not close approximations. They are documented movements recorded in legal filings and financial records. And the accountant in every one of these transactions was the same collection of names: Galeb Alamari, hushpuppi, and others intertwined in the network. This was not a loose operation. It was an ecosystem. Once the FBI had a clear picture of how the network functioned, they needed a jurisdiction where they could physically act. That place was Dubai. Dubai is not lawless, but it is a crossroads, a nexus of finance, influence, and people who circulate money without the same scrutiny that Western systems impose. The FBI worked closely with the Dubai police under the banner of Operation Fox Hunt, a joint effort to dismantle the laundering hub that linked millions in stolen money to a lifestyle broadcast around the world. When the SWAT unit breached the apartment in the early hours of June 10, 2020, they found more than just luxury goods and lifestyle accessories. They found cash, devices, ledgers, and digital footprints stored in devices that would later become key to the federal case. Dubai authorities reported seizures of millions of dollars in cash, dozens of luxury vehicles, more than 40 phones, and multiple laptops and storage devices. These items did more than just demonstrate wealth. They created a chronology, a timeline that could be reconstructed, cross-referenced, and presented to the courts. On July 3, 2020, less than a month after his arrest in Dubai, Ramon Abbas was transferred to the United States. The FBI announced that the man known as hushpuppi had arrived to face charges for conspiring to launder hundreds of millions of dollars connected to cyber-enabled fraud schemes. For years, he had been untouchable online, and now he was a defendant in a federal courtroom. In April 2021, Hushpuppi pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit money laundering. In November 2022, a judge sentenced him to 135 months in federal prison, more than 11 years, and ordered $1.7 million in restitution to victims. Prosecutors stated that over an 18-month period, Hushpuppi conspired to move more than $300 million, even though much of that money was intercepted before reaching him. After his arrest, Hushpuppi vanished from social media. The Instagram account that once defined his identity was erased, leaving only court filings, transaction records, and evidence logs in its place. His story is about ambition and performance, and how visibility can feel like power until it becomes a trail of evidence.